Alright. Welcome to SideboardMTG. My name's Eric, and it's time for yet another of Dev's deck. This one's a little bit special. It's the first super budget deck that Dev has put out this season, and looks like it's actually going to be fairly competitive to be a $10 deck. So, if you guys are looking at a real cheap way to get into Paper Magic, $10 is not bad. Originally, Dev's list didn't have a sideboard on it, so I always get in trouble when I have a name like the Sideboard or SideboardMTG and I run a deck without a sideboard. So I did just grab budget options. Do know that if you wanted to, of course, you could put things like Glorybringer and Chandra and all of that. But I did try to keep it budget to kind of go with the theme. So I think I stuck half the budget yet again into the sideboard, and mainly that's because of Braids and Aethersphere Harvesters, but we'll talk about that in a minute. So guys, I hope you liked tonight's show. If you do, give it a thumbs up, and if you like the content in general, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Alright, let's take a look at this concoction Dev has for us here. So real basic land base here. I mean, we've got 20 mountains, and then we've got 4 sun-scorched deserts, right? Bam, land base done. No money there. You could always put in a Field of Ruin or two, or you could put in scavenger grounds if you need something there. But we've got some answers for the graveyard in the sideboard, and I think that you definitely want to start with the sideboard, then start trying to add more money into this deck. A lot of great goblins here. I kind of went over them the other night on one of the other videos, but the Black-White Knights, man, that was a cool deck, right? But anyway, Fanatical Firebrand, one of the best red 1-drops in Standard right now, and we just got another one, and this one gives us Red Ramp. And Red Ramp helps us do quite a few things, and like sacrificing goblins or casting more war chiefs or doing something along those lines. It's absolutely terrific. Even to be able to sacrifice a goblin that they were about to maybe exile and gain life with or something like that. All of these things are extremely relevant, and just having that sack outlet there for a goblin is it's pretty good. Smash that like button, y'all. Yeah. Shock is great, and then along with Shock we've got Lightning Strike. Now this is just straight burn to the dome, and you guys will see that that was one of the things that I decided to put in the sideboard was a couple copies of Magma Spray. It's one of those things you could trade out for if you had something you needed to deal with. Let's say vehicles is back, or you're dealing with Scrap Heap Scroungers or something. You might want a Magma Spray. Next here, we've got some Wily Goblins, and this is a great goblin to sacrifice. You pay 2 mana, and then the next turn you actually start sacking it and the treasure, and you get 2 additional mana, allowing you to play a Siege Gang Commander on turn 3. Pretty good. I mean, I like that interaction. Siege Gang Commander on turn 3 sounds great to me. You play your 3rd land, you sacrifice the Wily Goblin and the treasure, or you could sacrifice Wily Goblin and the Prospector and keep the treasure. I don't know if that's what you really want to do, but I think a Goblin's worth more than a treasure in this deck. So we need to tell people in the other stream to refresh. Oh, absolutely. Like where I don't even have a link to it anymore. Let me see if I can pull that up. We had a problem here at the beginning of the stream where my stream wasn't live, but yet it was kind of live. I don't know. I don't know exactly what was going on. YouTube's adding a couple new features here and stuff. And no, I think this is just okay. The one on my page is just it's us, Spider, and there we go. Hopefully they'll find us. Hopefully they'll find us. There's people waiting in chat. Wow. Yeah, it should have closed that chat. What up, Ghost Man? Max, how you doing, man? It's been a while. Hefe in my chat in the other stream is showing up on the side. See, I have no, like, YouTube added a couple new things where you can stack events and prepare them ahead of time, but unfortunately, like, you got to run like separate stream keys and things, and I think I messed that up somewhere. Yeah, I'll have to figure out how that works. I'll have to play around with some stuff. What's up, Christopher? How you doing, bud? Robert, Emma, or Emmy, Rodan. Hello, hello, hello. What's up, Luke? Who else we got in here? We got Rush. We've got Spider, Albatross, Stephen Bennett. How you doing, sir? Berserker Bear. Aye. James, how you doing? Who else is up at the top? I know there was a bunch, and then there were a ton of people in the other chat. Like, guys, I'm sorry if I missed you. We did have a little bit of a problem. GNES, what's up, dude? All right, guys. This is pretty straightforward deck. It is a squee deck, so some of you guys I know are going to be really happy about, squee. Goblin War Chief. This is also another card that allows us to, get down Siege Gang Commanders and play other goblins just much, much cheaper. I mean, we only have 22 lands, because we have some nice sorceries and stuff. Fight with Fire is just a broken late game top deck. I mean, come on, guys. Dealing 10 to the Dome is amazing. I mean, it's like the greatest Red Sun Zenith or greatest Fireball you could use, right? I mean, come on. It's been a while. You lost track of time a couple of times. Hey, man, I know how it works. Sometimes you just get into life and things happen. Kicker for this one's going to be really easy for us. We just sacrifice an artifact, which we could get from our Wily Goblin, or we can sacrifice a Goblin. Goblin Barrage deals 4 damage to target creature. If this spell was kicked, it also deals 4 damage to target player or planeswalker. What? Yeah. 4 mana, burn you to the face for the price of one of my goblins after it might have hit you. This is going to be really good, guys. Like this is going to be a great spell. The whole idea here is just to finish them off. If we get to 5 mana, we get down our Siege Gang Commanders. This is like a 12-cent card. Get down your Siege Gang Commanders. I mean, yeah, it's been printed, what, 1,000 times? Just a million, right? Just anything over like 5 or 6 is a million, right? Life happened pretty hard. Hey, buddy, that does happen, man. That does happen. I'm gonna say the same thing has recently happened to me, but we're getting everything back on track now, and hopefully we haven't let the stream slip too much. We should be getting back on track by this time next week. So I was hoping to have everything up this week, but moving into a new place, deposits, all this other stuff. I'm not moving until I get the water turned on. So, and that'll be this Friday. So, anyway, Berserker Bear says he's got a question, unrelated, but sometimes while playing Walking Ballista, I say that I can play it for free. Can I explain? Something to do with another creature giving a +1/+1 boost. Yeah, if you have a Metallic Mimic down calling Construct, Walking Ballista will enter the battlefield with an additional +1/1 counter on it, and the Metallic Mimic just gives it the 1/1 counter. So you play it for 0, it gets a 1/1 counter, and then that's how it works. That is how the interaction works. I know it does say that when Walking Ballista enters the battlefield with the counters on it, but technically, like, it's entering the battlefield and then you're placing the number of counters on it equal to the cost of it. So Metallic Mimic says that each creature that would enter the battlefield that's a construct would just enter with a +1/1 counter on it. So because none of that uses the stack, and this is what's important, because none of that uses the stack, this all happens before state-based effects can actually check the Walking Ballista and see that it's a 0/0. So it'll enter as a 0/0. We're not passing priority yet, and then it gets the +1/1 counter. I think that's the exact layering of it, but it's because the priority's not passed, so state-based doesn't check for the 0. But anyway, yeah. It's also just a great combo piece. So in the sideboard here, guys, I spent like $3 on the budget into the sideboard here. Puncturing Blow, Vance's Blasting Cannons. Now, if you had more money and you wanted to stick more money in it, of course you would trade Vance's Blasting Cannons out for Chandra. Okay, but it's still going to do the job. I mean, it's still going to help us get more cards, and it's just a really cheap option, budget option for Chandra's first ability. Now, you're not really going to be getting that extra, you know, points of damage every time you get a land into exile. But if you do happen to flip this thing, and that's not really hard when we've got a ton of goblins and we can play a ton of spells, flipping this thing can then all of a sudden give you the reach you need to really close the game out. So I really do like Vance's blasting cannons, and I think it's a little bit underrated, and that's only because it is totally outshined by Chandra. Put Karizev's expertise. Well, if there was a call for it, I think maybe I would. Unfortunately, like the main thing that we can even sack are. I don't think, like, I mean, yeah, Fling would fit too. But we just really don't need those type of cards. I would run those type of cards if I knew that there was a Galta deck that was serious. I'd be trying to take the Galta and then just swing back. So, takes a bow, right? It's red. Why not? Let's put Karizev's expertise. Rush. We're not on a Driven to Despair deck, man. Abrade, most of the $3 went into the Abrade and the Aether Sphere Harvesters. Everything else is just, you know, really cheap commons and uncommons that you can throw in the sideboard and to have you know, at least a sideboard. I see people show up to FNMs and stuff and they don't have a sideboard at all. Oh my god, we're gonna have a bunch of unrelated questions. I know you were. I know you were messing, Rush. Did I see your question about Joshua Vess? Not trying to venture too far off topic. Was just curious. Let me go back up, James. Let me see if I can find it. Where was James's question? Was it in the other chat? Quick question. Would Panharmonicon allow a kick Joshua Vess? Bring in. Does Joshua Vess say when it enters the battlefield? Do this. Here. Let me look it up. Let's look it up, guys. I can't give too many more. Oh, whoa! I lost Chandra's defeat. All right, so let's hit standard. Alright, he says when he is kicked, enters the battlefield. Okay, so when it enters the battlefield, so this permanent that would belong to you will enter the battlefield, and then it will trigger. So it will have been kicked. That trigger will happen twice. So yeah, that will yeah. So if it wasn't kicked, you wouldn't have a trigger at all. If it was kicked, you're going to have a trigger for 8 2/2 zombies, and Panharmonicon would mean 16. And if you happen to have this in a black-white deck, and you had yeah, it'd be 32 with Anointed Procession. Wow. But a double Anointed Procession would actually have to double both triggers, and I don't want to do the math on that. That would get crazy. Kaladesh and Amonkhet blocks rotate out. They do. So after kindly answer this question, let's try and stay on topic. Goblin. All right. I'm gonna move on. We'll get into like some stalls in action or something. We'll play from there. Either way, I like the deck that Dev has put together. $10, awesome deck. I mean, what more can you hope for out of a $10 deck, right? So we're gonna jump into a couple queues and see if we can just burn people down. Goblins, right? Like, we're not worried about Joshua Vess. I mean, it's an enter the battlefield trigger. Yep. Blu-ray control deck. Tomokayo won Nationals with essentially irrelevant now that Gear Hulk and a lot of other Aether Revolt cards are no longer in standard. Any suggestions? Gear Hulk and Aether Revolt are still in standard until October. So Tomiko's U.S. Nationals deck, Oliver Tomiko, yeah, he had a great U.S. Nationals deck, but it was a really straightforward deck. He had 4 of, 4 of, 4 of, 4 of, and you know, it was a really good deck. So I would say that, wow, come on, really? I mean, we get a Prospector. If we hit a land, we can go into Goblin. What's a 24 land deck? I'll play another. I want to keep this hand. We're so golden if we hit land, and we're on the draw. And worst case scenario, we just, I don't know, sack something. It's Goblins. If anyone can do a 1-land hand, it should be Goblins, right? Ooh. With no modern events in the near future, you're very excited to get back to standard. Yeah, man. I mean, that's kind of what we get, 1 block out of each 4 that goes modern, and I call that a brewer's paradise, especially when we don't know what the format is. It became right at the beginning of a rotation, and I should have just blocked that. Oh, we gold now, boys. I think I just hit for 1. Alright, so is there an argument for sacrificing this and the treasure to play yet another? I mean, that seems like it would just be a waste, right? But next turn I could War Chief. I mean, I could sack all 3 of them War Chief right now. But War Chief doesn't make Wily Goblin cheaper to cast. I think I just like... Oh, no. Whatever. This thing's got first strike. Oh, it's so mean. This is like the first upgrade you put in this Goblin deck. It's what War Chief should be. Or maybe run alongside War Chief. So we're looking at 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 mana to burn for 10. The chat is froze on your screen. No, don't sack that and kill me. Looks like his goblins are doing like meaner things than ours. Bomat Courier, the honorary goblin. Right? You sack it for a bunch of cards. It's pretty good. Alright, well, we're gonna make him discard the 2 in his hand, and which was a Rowdy Crew and a Mountain. Chat is froze. Press F5, guys. Refresh. Chat is frozen. Let's see what's going on. Let me refresh and see what happens. Okay. Alright guys, let me close that out. Let me pop this one out. And we'll see if this helps. I'm working on it, fellas. I'm working on it. Oh man, he's got this Prospector. His Goblin deck is fired off better than ours. Whoa, too far. Too far. How's that? Are we good now? We have working chat now? Alright, well, pretty sure that, hey, this might have helped pull us out of this. This might have helped us. And maybe I should have just, like, killed the 3/3, the chain whirler, but see if we can keep pushing damage. Ooh, he trades a bow mat. Alright. First strike's gonna be a pain. No! Oh, no. No, not like this. Just get you some. What did you miss? You missed us going, completely berserk on this dude. Yeah, I don't even want to show him the cards in my hand. I mean, I could put down a War Chief. Yeah. We're going to get in. I don't even want to show him that we have War Chiefs. I don't want to show him that I have Firebrand, even though he probably knows that. Okay, so we didn't get any of our shocks or any of that. I definitely want Aether Sphere Harvester. Why? This is just not a Goblin Grenade, though. It's not a Goblin Grenade. Matter of fact, it is so much worse than Goblin Grenade. Wow, okay. Mantis Blasting Cannons, maybe, but I definitely want Chandra's Defeat. 1 mana. And I'm actually going to drop Prospector and Wily Goblin here. Just, maybe I'll keep Prospector and drop the Goblin. The real out should probably be Goblin War Chief, but I haven't played enough with the deck to really know. Yeah. Yeah, I wish we were running Chain Whirler too, but he is the most expensive portion of the deck. Okay, another 1 land. I'm going to mulligan. We'll keep this. Sure. I'm going to let him keep his Prospector for a moment. I mean, if he wants to, I don't know, sacrifice this Goblin and Chain Whirler on 2. Wow, yeah, you could do that, couldn't you? Maybe I should just shoot it right now. Yeah, let's do that. Before he gets other things. And he doesn't get to keep the mana. Yeah, Chain Whirler 100%, that would be your first upgrade. Oh no. We're just going to kill that this turn. I mean, we trade our Prospector for it, but like his Chain Whirler is just going to destroy us. You know what? Maybe we can get away without actually having to spend a card. What's the record with this deck? This is game 1, so... Or match 1, game 2. That's pretty good. Yeah. Whirler would not be good right now. Phoenix. Okay. Well, that's gonna be a problem. Where I go over is I should follow up the stream with upgrades. I like upgrades. So he went ahead and shot my dude because he didn't want me to get to 5. This doesn't really deal with the Phoenix really well, so maybe we'll top deck land and then Prospector. But I expect he's just hanging on to a Whirler until he sees a Prospector. Yeah, okay. So he's got the Gate to the Afterlife plan in his Goblins. I really do like it. I think it's a great interaction to put in the combat celebrants, and the Goblins, like, they can sacrifice themselves so well. So this is mono red Gate. That's pretty cool. Mono red Gate to the Afterlife. I mean, getting back a 4/4 first striker when you get back a Whirler, that's pretty good. I think that's pretty good. Definitely gonna have to play this mono red Gate deck. I mean, I get the construction, and with this new the Prospector is just, he can just sacrifice himself. You can sacrifice everything else. Trigger, 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 trigger. So yeah. Man, you guys are hating on the Wizards deck. Yeah, Rush has been saying that the Wizards deck hasn't been that great for a while now, and hey, he might be right. Okay, so the plan here. One, two, three, four. Yeah. So we can shoot the Phoenix and then ping the bird. Or ping the totem. Ping the little elemental totem that it leaves behind. So we go. We got enough mana to do this one now. Goblin Barrage. And we're gonna do it to that guy. Oh wait, cancel. Goblin Barrage to that thing and that guy, sacrificing that goblin. Wow, almost messed that up. Almost messed that up. Oh, he's about to get like 20, 20 creatures in the graveyard, and then he's just going to have like infinite combat steps. It's not infinite, but you get your combat step plus 1 for each combat celebrant you have in your grave. I want him to have to do everything on his turn. Does he want to sacrifice that combat celebrant? He does. So I'm going to sacrifice the goblin that he let's make sure I'm doing this right. Choose that thing Sacrifice that goblin. Alright, so he doesn't get to kill his combat celebrant, and since it was a non-token creature, or it was a token creature, he doesn't get his trigger here either. And he takes the 1 life. And bye-bye Phoenix. Alright, 1. Let's look at this. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 creatures in the grave. And yet another gate. Oh my goodness, he's about to start getting double triggers. Double triggers all the way. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I need 3 more land. Three more land. Okay. I'm going to pass the turn, and I'm going to start trying to burn the opponent out. That's the plan, anyway. Ooh. I can't swing into him. I can't let him lose this. I can't let him. Oh, man. He just instantly sacks it. Yeah. That's why it's so good. And he throws a chain whirler in the grave. Is he going to get back 2? Yeah, he is. Wow, look at that. Oh, man. Oh, no, let's not even talk about approach mirrors. Oh, that's... I'm going to let him go off here. So we're just going to hit him, sacrifice a goblin. Alright, Chain Whirler Delta damage. Oh man, I don't know how we deal with this. I don't think we possibly can. I mean, we're going to 1 here. We're dead either way here, though, right? I mean, because he still gets the 2 other triggers. Like, yeah. I mean, we're still dead. I mean, the best play that I can possibly make is wait till after these are done and then, like, shock this. But we would still just be so many lands off of anything, yeah. All right. We seize the writings. Okay, well, let's get into another game here. Scalding Hot is our opponent's name. Soulscar Mage and Whirler are so good. Oh my goodness, that combination is so good. Just drop Soulscar Mage and then Chain Whirler. Puts -1/1 counters on everything. Guys, I'm actually thinking the Hapatra deck might be real all of a sudden. The Jund deck, I mean, Jund got its mana base, so it can definitely do things. We're not really set for Wily Goblin, but this is not a horrible hand. I think I'm going to keep it. I mean, we're on the play and we have a 1-drop. So John deck 1/1 counters. Yeah, I think that there's enough good cards, and with the new mana base, I think that you could actually bring most of the spells you need. Like, I think you could build the mana base so that you could actually be untapped on the turn that you need to be untapped, which is, you know, important. Very important. All right, so we don't get to cast anything here unless we just want to lightning strike the opponent. If he plays, okay, that might be snake. This may be a snake deck. Glint Sleeve Siphoner. Okay. Squee! Maybe the better play there was the Wily Goblin. Because if we top deck another land, I could have Siege Gang Commander next turn. But I wanted to play Squee! I'm just gonna kill it. I mean, just kill it. I know that's 3 points of damage I could have put to his face. Probably could have let him play those and start drawing them out, but if he gets to, like, Vraska's Contempt, then, you know, whew. I mean, Squee don't care. Squee don't care. Can sit on top of a good Jund deck too. I've got to look up some of these cards. Like, I'm gonna have to do a stream where we just, like, I just pull up a card. Like, you guys mention a card and I'm just gonna pull it up. Like, I've got to do that. Oh no! Block it, Squee. I mean, we could shoot it, but I think we're going to be better off just starting to throw goblins at the opponent here. Like, so we're going to force him to have trample or something like that, which he may do it. Oh, there's a ravenous Chupacabra. Green gives us access to naturalize. Let's see. I'm going to take this hit for 8, and then we'll try to put the brakes on afterwards. Okay, there's a lightning strike. What does that do for us? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and lightning strike. Okay, we have enough goblins to start the burn. Oh, come on, Choop. Kind of in trouble here. I don't know if we can get enough burn to get through this. 1, 2, but I mean, we're not far off though. Like, we need to top deck the fire, the burn for 10 damage spell. I mean, we have the mana to do it. I mean, it's a top deck. I mean, it would have to just be a top deck. Wow, we've got to stop some of this. Could have went to 2 there. I think this just put us out of contingency for even top decking that now. So, Wily Goblin. Yeah. Wow, my throat. One moment, guys. Okay. I think this is a Journey to Eternity deck. Normally when I see Choops and, you know, Snake, Green, Black, stuff like that, I start thinking Journey to Eternity. Yeah, he's tearing me up here. I can stall for another turn. We'll see what we get. Oh, another lightning strike. We get you now. Yeah, we're done, guys. That is that's gonna be it right there. All right, so let's get into the sideboard. What can we do? You was looking at a John reoccurring creatures deck with Dread, Scrap Heap, Squee, Dragnoz. Is Dragnoz the dragon, like the dragon with the egg counters? Dragagazi, whatever. Effect of the cards. Okay, yeah. Yeah, instead exile the... Okay, the egg counter guy. I got you. Gotcha. Remove an egg counter from it. Right, and when there are no more, he comes back from the battlefield. Jund colors and 4. Sweet. Rest in peace, $10 goblins. Nah, we got just hosed right there. Puncturing blow is going to be good. A braid's probably going to be really good. I'm going to bring in the abrades over the 4 mana burn spell. And then I'm going to take out 1 Wily Goblin. Vance's blasting cannons is probably going to be huge here. And I'm just going to take out a Goblin War Chief. Late game, Squee may become like the card that saves us. We weren't quite in a position to use Squee there in that last game where we could have just brought him back. We might have been able to buy 1 more turn with Squee. But, okay, well, we can kill a snake and we start getting 2 cards per turn. Alright, that's what we're going to do. Here we go. Here we go. Just turn 4, play this, and start getting 2 cards per turn. And we got a War Chief on 3. That's probably not going to be that bad. Have I built the blue-white historic deck yet? No, I have not, and I have actually had so many. I played like a Bant version. No, it was Esper for the Patreon games. Ryan the Fire Burns. He gave us a list, and I played that on the Patreon games this Saturday. And you know, the deck was like super powerful. It felt great. I mean, just Karn churning through, you know, grabbing cards and stuff like that. It was terrific. I really enjoyed it. And then I've got Dragon Lord here that posted. Did you ever post yours last night? I went to sleep and forgot to check it. But he also was looking at a Super Friends deck, which I assume is fairly close to a historic deck. So. Blue-red historic with Jorah. We'll see now. At that point, why don't we just go all out and play Jeskai, right? Like, if you want, you know, blue-red and they want blue-white, we just play Jeskai. I could have actually played the Siege Gang Commander there, but he hasn't played anything yet, which is a little bit interesting. This is like Brontodon or something. Vraska's Contempt. Okay. So our exiled card is Wily Goblin. Well, we're not going to be casting the Wily Goblin this turn. So, unfortunately, it did not make the cut. If I would have cast the Wily Goblin, I kind of would have been committed to trying to cast the Fanatical Firebrand as well. I'm not 100% interested in flipping this just yet, but burning him every turn would also end this game really quick. Ravenous Chupacabra? Okay, well, we get a castable spell off the top here, then we might be set. All right, so let's see what we get. Just a mountain, and we drew another mountain. Do we want to flip it? Yeah, let's go for this. This is just going to be a bad play, guys, but I'm going to go for it. I think we can just burn him out with our land, and we're going to try it. Okay, well, I'm going to do it. I'm just going to go ahead and flip it. And we're going to say, yes, flip the what is it? Spitfire Bastion? Spitfire Bastion? Either way, I think we can finish the game out now. I think this is just all we need. He hasn't pressured us enough to show me that he could kill us here, which he might be able to. I mean, he may be able to finish this out real quick, like bam, the Scarab God off of an Aether Hub, and let's roll. But yeah, you wish the Weatherlight was more viable. You know, hey, I actually like that card. I thought the card was really good. I played it in my Tishar deck, and I mean, yeah, it was in the sideboard, but I like the card. 3/3. Huh. I'll just pass. I think I can burn him quicker than he can burn me. I don't know that that's true, but I think I can. So we'll see what he plays here. Oh, wow. What is this? A huge Walking Ballista. That means I have to deal with this current Walking Ballista now, which means I'm taking 3. Or taking 2. Okay, he finished off the Goblin. So another huge Walking Ballista. And we will just go ahead and shoot the Walking Ballista now. Get this over with. And then we can go back to the burn. Hard to beat, Heart of Kirin and Skyship. Yeah, and yeah, Skyship's a good card. Oh no. That's 2 swings and we're dead. Wow, alright. Let's see here. We have Siege Gang Commander and Shock for this turn. We only get 1 turn at this. I don't know, I could put 1 dude in front of him and then offset and make it 3 swings. That's going to be the end of us right there. This thing all of a sudden has lifelink, guys. Yeah. Can't do much about that. Wow. Yeah, I needed the abrade. Needed the abrade. Yep. 9/9 with a lifelink. That's going to be hard to beat. You've been waiting to see this deck get played? I'm sorry, man. Like, you're going to need to put a couple bucks into this deck. Yeah, I mean, Siege Gang Commander is great. But, like, cards like Wily Goblin feel clunky. And everything feels severely underpowered. I think we're going to have to go look at some Goblins and kick the budget to the side and say, how much does it cost to get, you know, the Chain Whirlers? What is it going to cost for us to get this and that? And, yeah. Can't beat this, guys. We cannot beat a 9/9 lifelinker. That's brutal. That is brutal. Is that 3 already? Jeez. It is, isn't it? So we had Mono Red. No, that's just 2, right? That's just 2. Okay, 1 more here. 1 more. Maybe the Goblin deck will come through us once. Just once. You blame Commander? The deck has no gas? Yeah, and like it's stonewalled by a 2/2. You know, like any of the knights would just like stand in front of it and just be like, hey, hey. You would have to shoot them, yeah. You'd have to shoot them down with your shocks and things like that, and I don't know, it was like all of our spells just didn't line up with what we were playing against. So Azor's Gateway, similar to how it was used in the red-black control deck. Maybe Azor's Gateway gives you a lot of draw, but I don't know. Like, I don't think this deck in hardly any meta is ever actually going to make it to you know, deep into the late game to be able to cast like the 8-9 mana spell. I mean, we're gonna have to like all of a sudden have them down from the beginning, and honestly, like, unless you're like Bomat Courier and cards like that, like the only thing we have with haste is I mean, Squeeze the strongest card in the deck, and he's weak. I know you guys are gonna jump on me for talking bad about a Squee, but it needs a Krinko or a Goblin Bomb. Right? Like, Goblin Grenade would be great. Our current Goblin Grenade's like 4 mana. Come on. Like, that's insulting. Like, I'm gonna say it, Wizards, that's insulting. Goblin Grenade was 1 mana. 1 mana, 5 damage. Like, just, Is this standard or modern? This is standard. Yeah, Goblin Grenade, our current one is 4 mana. Jeez, that's it's a little bit ridiculous, honestly. Let's look at this. Let's look. Well, we got an opponent. Let's play. Alright, well, we're going to give this a shot. We're just going to see if we can hit our curve, and this is the Goblin Grenade I was talking about. and it's still only, I mean, it's 4 damage to the creature and to the player, but so we'll turn to the Wily Goblin. And looks like we're on our way to Goblin War Chief. Like, there's no lords or anything like that, so like this deck should be able to truly be able to benefit from its goblin synergies, like its sacrifice synergies and stuff. And I honestly, I haven't seen the payout that's as good as I would like to see it. I do like that the way he's worded, he gives himself haste. Like, goblins just get haste, period. Now, in a slower meta, something that is trying to set up, we might get there. But I'm also scared of what he could be putting down. Now this is what you want to see out of this deck. I'm not gonna sacrifice my treasure here. I can do it at end of turn, and we should be killing him now. We can actually target our... Oh, wow. He's got a Lotus. He has a Lotus. Power Stone. Well, he's dead. One, two, three, 4, 5. Yeah, there we go. But what I was saying is this is worded in such a way that you can target your goblin and then target your opponent as a player. So that's pretty cool. You can kick it at your own goblin. I wonder if you can target the same goblin that you're sacrificing. I'll have to look at that. All right. We want to stay as quick as possible. Vance's blasting cannons is the, when we're going into the late game, though. I'm actually gonna take Squee out for Vance's blasting cannons. We got one! We got a victory! Yeah! Right? Hey, that's how it feels, too. I'm gonna keep. And let's start doing damage. Getting in there. Send a message. We're coming. We're on the prowl. We're gonna do that damage. Oh, nice, nice. So we'll go ahead, play around this sensor. Do we really think we're getting censored here? Really? I think he didn't have a power. I mean, he didn't have a turn 2 artifact, so we're just gonna see power stones. No power stone? What? What are you doing, opponent? What are you doing? All right, counter this then. Counter it. Counter it. Oh yeah, take 2. Well, I mean, I'm going to sacrifice a goblin next turn here. We're going to drop the Siege Gang Commander if he taps to do anything. He did. Okay, there's a relic. Oh man. Yeah, I still want my Siege Gang Commander down. So I go 1, 2. Might as well swing first. And you know what? I'm going to sacrifice the Fanatical Firebrand. And Siege King Commander. Here we go. Syncopate for 0, right? Syncopate's such a good card. Oh man, that card's so good. Bantu's Last Reckoning. What? Well, mine don't stay tapped. Wow. Bantu's in his Monoblue. Monoblue Gilded Lotus. Oh, I was going to call the cycles. I found out what I was going to call the cycles. I was going to call them the petals. The 4 or the 5 new cards that are all 3. They all require you know, the Gilded Lotus, 3 of 1 color. Got swept. Get swept. And he's digging again. He's back on the dig. And he pitched a land. Okay, so he's got white lands. Well, this is cool. Isn't that cool? Here we go. He's at 5. Does he have another Bantus? You like Syncopate's new flavor text? Oh man, I've got to read that. I haven't checked it out. I'm a stickler for flavor text. Like, we find so much of our lore and stuff, so I'll check out the new flavor text after this game. Yeah, I'm thinking about actually sacrificing one right now. Paradox Engine. Oh no. Does he just go ham right here? He makes a relic. He untaps. He plays a relic. If everything in his deck costs 3 or less, he still doesn't have the blessing. Does he have Settle the Wreckage? Well, I want to see it. I want to see it. Now, we can also just take to burning him. And we're going to sacrifice this goblin right here. We're going to hit you, and we're going to sacrifice this goblin right here. And then I'm going to hit you again. Got you again. All right. Sweet. We won one. Yay. The $10 is too strong. Okay, guys. We lost to, like, every good deck we ran across. I've actually seen that Storm deck there quite a bit, so people are brewing with that. It was good to see that we do, you know, we do have the ability to just kind of take off if we're, you know, just trying to, like, I don't know, if they're not interacting with us, yes, we'll win the game. But if they can drop like a 2/2, our brakes are on. The deck is extremely weak as far as you're making 1/1s, and they're never really going to amount to much more than a 1/1, other than sacrificing them to other key choice spells, which means you're just about going to lose in combat at all times. Now, that's kind of a given. That's like something we're expecting when we're playing this low to the ground, you know, deck. But you know, we're not actually fast enough to make it count. Like, we don't have Goblin Guide, which, you know, is a 2-power. Even like our only 2-power creatures in the deck cost 3 mana. That's not exactly what I want to see out of, you know, your typical Goblin shell. So I personally expect that a mono red Goblins deck in our current format is going to have to be something more along the lines of a Goblin, you know, gift or a gate to the afterlife deck or something like that. Now, there are some really good Goblins that we got to talk about here, okay? So let's go ahead and talk about some of the more expensive Goblins that were not run into this deck and possibly could have been. Rigging Runner is actually a really good option for a 1-mana Goblin, and it's a pirate. The first strike on it is just extremely relevant, and it just costs 1 mana. Here, let's show them individually here. Now we have the Prospector, Bloodstone Goblin. This is more for you know, a spells deck, but I could also see you getting away with it with your shocks, your lightning strikes, all of your other spells. Goblin Trailblazer is a better priced version of Squee. Honestly, I like Squee is cute, and you know, it's one of those cards. It's like, hey, I really want to play with it. It's Squee. I mean, come on, look at the art. Don't tell me they wasn't planning Squee to be cute. I mean, he's even got a, you know, a funny flavor text. Like he's a funny little sidekick, not the hero of the story. So you know, Goblin Trailblazers is a better beater than Squee. The best thing about Squee is just keep throwing him in front of a body, right? Yeah, Krinko was amazing, Steven. Now, the same can go for Swab Goblin. You know, this is still a better body than most of your Goblins. If we weren't trying to do like the major ramp plan with Wily Goblin and, you know, trying to cast the fight with fire, Goblin Barrage, like, I do not like the Goblin Barrage at all. It seems like there's something else we could be using there. And if you're really going to get expensive with the deck, like if you were not worried about the price, I think that the Wily Goblin would come out. I would probably drop the Squeeze, and the first thing that we would add would be 4 copies of Goblin Chain Whirler. Chain Whirler, as you guys seen, is just an amazing card. It's a 3/3 first striker, so it's going to win in most combat situations. First strike works really, really well with your burn spells because you can go ahead and put the burn on the creature and then allow the first strike damage to happen, and that will make sure that he can take down creatures that are much larger than himself. Like if you Magma Spray and then he blocks the Scarab God will exile before it can get to normal combat phase and deal damage to your Chain Whirler. So like just stacking it with burn damage or burn based effects is just a really, really good interaction with first strike. So I definitely think that we just like have to add the first strike Goblin Chain Whirler here. Now, with 3 Goblin Chain Whirlers in the deck, I'm going to say that this card is now a liability. Sunscorched Desert, if it's one of your only 3 red sources, it's a liability. You may get away with it better than we did with the black-white Knights deck, because, you know, the black-white Knights deck, it had only 3 lands in the entire deck that couldn't cast the Marshal, and we couldn't cast the Marshal so many times. So that's definitely something that I would look into. The Goblin Barrage, again, I don't really like the spell, and I think that there's something else that we could put in right there. Honestly, I would like to take, you know, Goblin Barrage out, and since you're on this kind of plan, I think that Walking Ballista is just a better card. So I would put the 4 Walking Ballistas in instead of, not 5, that's not illegal, instead of the Barrage. And then at that point I would probably look for a couple cheap Goblins to put in, maybe Rigging Runner to go along with your Fanatical Firebrand, something like that. Insult to Injury could be great. A lot of times you're not going to get a lot with Insult to Injury though, because like you're going to have to pay, you know, the 3 mana for doubling your pain, or doubling, you know, the pain you're about to inflict, and then like you gotta have 7 to just sacrifice 2 goblins. So like I don't want to really count on this as being huge ramp. I just don't think that it's going to play out that way for you guys. So I don't want to think of, the Prospector as being huge ramp, but allowing you to play, maybe a Siege Gang Commander on turn 3 or on turn 2, I mean turn 3 or on turn 4 is just, a little bit ahead of the curve, and that's kind of what we want from ramp. And I'm not expecting this to be something that's going to ramp us into 7, 8, 9 mana, even though there are going to be those games where that is going to happen for you. So personally, I think that we could probably find a couple more cuts in this deck, throw in some Bomat Couriers, and I would probably call it a day and say, hey, this is going to be pretty close to something that I would like to run, and I would probably try it back that way. You don't even have to maybe run, maybe not even run, all the Walking Ballistas, and maybe not even run all the Bomat Couriers, but I think that I would like to see some Bomat Couriers in the deck. It's just such a good card. I know it's not a Goblin, but it's just such a good card that I think that this is going to be the cheapest way to get started, and then I would probably start directing this deck, just because of all the pieces being there. I would start directing this deck towards a Gate to the Afterlife, or or a Gate to the Afterlife, God Pharaoh's Gift, a God Pharaoh's Gift using Gate to the Afterlife to cheat it into play. I think that that would just be a much better way to go, and you might even want to drop one of these Chain Whirlers to make it happen. Now, if you did go that route, you're probably going to want to up the count on your creatures as much as possible. So you're going to want to cut down on the shocks and the lightning strikes, fight with fire. Cards like this are not going to be exactly what you're looking for. What you are going to be looking for is anything that you can cause to sacrifice itself. So like that would mean, cutting down a fight with fire and adding back, Walking Ballista. Shocks would probably get traded for Gate. Now, I'm not going to have a finished copy because like we're kind of going through, a few different variations, but I would end up putting the 4 gates in, and then you're probably getting more into the mono red GPG, but cut a couple lightning strikes, and at that point you're probably going to turn these lightning strikes into yet something else and get your gifts in the deck. This just depends on if you want to take that route with the God Pharaoh's Gift, and if you are going to take the route with God Pharaoh's Gift like this, you've got these 3 cards to play with. That if they could be creatures at all, if you could increase your creature count at all, it would be terrific. And this is going to give you still quite a bit of a Goblin theme. And you don't even necessarily need the Goblin War Chief. So if you start getting, Pile Driver would be nice, Marv. Oh man, Pile Driver would be great. But like if you guys wanted to start building, your Goblins into more of a GPG deck, like this is kind of somewhere in the direction that I would take it. However, if you want to stick more true to Goblins, then I'm going to say we're missing pieces. Like you're not going to want to be mono red. These Goblins are not going to. They're not really going to have the power to push through any of the top tier decks. I mean, one Glorybringer and you're done. Even a Phoenix is going to be extremely hard for us to deal with. You seen earlier just how much we had to go through to be able to deal with that Phoenix. So says $10, puts in a playset of Goblin Chain Whirler and a couple of Walking Ballistas. Right, well, $10 was the budget deck that we started with. Dev from SBMTG built the $10 deck, and we're playing his budget list. And then now that we're done with it and we got kind of crushed, now we're putting in like some upgrade cards. So it was a $10 budget deck that didn't really do so well against some of the more powerful decks. So we start looking into the upgrades for that deck. And I think that if I was going to upgrade a mono red Goblin deck, I would start taking it in this direction. Do I think this is the most powerful without Ballista, it's still budget. You're right. Without the Ballista, it is still budget, but Ballista is so good because you're going to cast it for 0, trigger your Gate to the Afterlife. It goes into the graveyard for a creature count. Then you get the trigger, which you can throw another creature in for a creature count. But again, if you guys are going to go into the GPG thing, you drop the you 100% have to drop the War Chiefs, and you got to get into the Celebrant. Like Combat Celebrant is a must if you're going into the GPG. But at this point, we're pretty much built like the deck that we seen earlier. It's okay. I mean, I like it. It seems like there would be a Goblin card that allows draw a card, discard a card, do some things like that. You don't like the Goblin themed deck? Was really meant for Standard. It's for Pauper and Modern. I think so. I think you're right, and I think it was also a thing to have this reprinted because this wasn't in Modern. It being back in Standard means it's back in Modern. So the Prospector's pretty cool. So we've got to look up Syncopate. Syncopate. Alright, the flavor text on Syncopate. The fire spell stuttered and broke. Its pieces reached to fairy without... man, I messed that up. Its pieces reached to fairy out of rhythm, meaningless. What? I like the art on it. It's like he's just kind of snapping his fingers and going, whatever. Its pieces reach to fairy without rhythm. Meaningless. I don't know if I like that. I'm not all shook up by that. It's flavor text. It's kind of meaningless. Nah, I'm joking. Anyway, I don't know. It seems a little weird in the wording. I don't know. Teferi goes Thanos, right? And he just snaps his fingers. There you go. Bam. Guys, yeah, I punted through reading it, right, Marv? Arcane Flight has better flavor. Hey, man, there's so many good flavor texts. Dragon, did you post that? I haven't checked today. You did post it, I assume, right? I assume you posted it. Guys, if you want to play this deck, any other deck, make sure you check out manatraders. You can sign up for manatraders using SideboardMTG15 as your coupon code. Save yourself 50% when you, or 15% on your first 3 months when you sign up. Great way to play all the decks. Deb's going to be brewing a lot of decks. There's a lot of 5-0 lists. I'm going to be brewing. Our community is going to be brewing. We're going to be playing, all kinds of different decks throughout Dominaria. Do yourself a favor. Get yourself access to all the cards. Sign up for manatraders. Pay a flat rate. And play Magic. Play a lot of Magic. I mean, how many games do we play that are kind of pay to play anyway, right? Magic you can have access to everything. Everything, guys. I'm telling you, it is a game changer. Plus, they rent in paper. So you can buy from manatraders. You can do everything you want to do with manatraders. Play all the Magic. It's a lot of fun. Absolutely. We are done, Steven. Sorry, man. We played 3 games. Game 1 was against a faster red deck. Game 2 was against a green-black snake deck. And, when he puts a cartouche on a 9/9 or on an 8/8 Gearhulk and gives it lifelink, there's not a lot our 1/1 Goblins can do about it. So, yeah, we run into some bad decks. And then we played against the Monoblue Storm deck, Standard Storm with the Artifact Storm. And that was a cool little deck. It was nice to see Monoblue cast like some Bantu's Last Reckoning and things like. That's how confident he was that he would be able to produce the the mana to be able to cast it. So that's pretty cool. I did like seeing that deck, and I would like to see more of the pieces to it. I believe that most things in the deck are going to cost the equivalent of what you can produce with a Gilded Lotus. So that was a really cool deck, even though our Goblins crushed it. But again, I think that if I was going to upgrade the Goblins deck, the first Goblin that I would throw in would be the Goblin Chain Whirler. That's going to really, that's drastically going to change your game. That first strike ability is going to be great. The second Goblin that I would probably put in would be the Rigging Runner, just because, again, the first strike is extremely relevant, especially if you're running close to what Dev was running with the $10 and with all the shocks and the lightning strikes and things like that. Remember, you know, stacking that damage, and then first strike damage happens. Their creature, no matter how big it was, as long as you've dealt enough damage there, it's going to be dead before normal damage, and your dude sticks around. So, yeah. Give the updated deck a go. I never do, man. I never do. There's just always so many different ways you could take it. But yeah. Off topic, is Phoenix still a staple in mono red aggro? Probably. If you're building a real mono red aggro deck, I'm going to say Phoenix or Vitrix. I've seen a lot of people trying the new Dragon, but I actually think the Phoenix is still really good. It's really going to depend on if people are still running 3 and 4 copies of Vraska's Contempts in all their black decks. If they are, then yeah. You're going to play some XCOM 2. Oh, man. That seems like it'd be a lot of fun. Absolutely. Hit that like button. Subscribe if you're new. Guys, I had a lot of fun. I hope you had fun with this deck. I mean, it's a budget deck, and that's kind of what we expect out of most budget decks. But we got to have some fun games, interactive games, and we did also get to see, you know, the pain of playing 2 budget. You know, someone plays a single $5 card, and it just shuts you down. Yeah, I mean, one Verderus Gearhulk, and it was over, boys. It was over. Pack it up, go home. Either way, hope you guys had fun. We'll see you next time. SideboardMTG.